Today's woke read aloud is called Wings, and it was written and illustrated by Christopher Myers. Remember, the person that writes the book is the author, and the person who draws the pictures or paints the pictures or creates the pictures that you see, in whatever way they do that, this looks like it was made by collage, which is really cool. That person is referred to or called the illustrator. Now, it just so happens that there's only one name on the front of this book. And you know what that means? If there's only one person's name, that means this person did both of those things. This person, Christopher Myers, is the author and the illustrator. That's super lit. Like, you can write words and draw pictures? That actually sounds pretty familiar. Wait, do you write words and draw pictures at home? If you do that, you're also an author and an illustrator. That is so cool. I'm still waiting to see the books that y'all have written. So make sure you tag Woke Kindergarten and you show me so that I can see how you are an author and illustrator just like Christopher Myers. Now, I'm gonna go through the parts of the book really quickly so we can get started. This is called the front cover. And if I turn it around, this is called the back cover. And this again is the spine. Ooh, I wonder if my tiger friend has a spine. He looks like, I'm not sure if he has a spine because he's a little slouched. But you know, in order to be sitting, he has to have a spine. But maybe because he's a stuffed animal, he doesn't. And we're back. Now, before I read this book, Wings, with y'all, I want to tell you a little story. Back when I was a child, I had so much hair on my head. My hair was so curly. If you look at my hair right now, I don't have as much hair as I used to, but my hair was so curly, you wouldn't even believe it. And I used to go to school, and sometimes my hair would be in braids. I had my hair cornrowed or in braids every week. My mom hooked me up, had rubber bands in my hair. Sometimes I had shells. Sometimes I had designs. My hair always looked good, okay? I was excited about them braids. But whenever my mom wouldn't put my hair in braids, she would leave it out. And sometimes she would put it in a ponytail. And I remember being a kid, and I remember feeling like having my hair in a ponytail just didn't feel good for me. And at the time, I didn't really realize why until I would go to school and there were kids that would start to make fun of my hair. They would say that it was so bushy, it was too big, it was too curly, it was always in their way. And that really hurt my feelings. And it made me want to braid my hair every day. Because I knew if I braided my hair every day, that they wouldn't be able to make fun of me anymore. And so at the time when I was a kid, I didn't love my hair like I should have, because I let other people make me feel bad about one of the many things that makes me special. My hair, just like your hair, is one of the many things that makes me special. Your hair makes you special too. All those curls you have, or those braids you got, or that nice little shape up and fade with your little design in your head, your dreadlocks, beautiful. That makes you special. I wish I would have known that about myself when I was a kid. But guess what? Luckily, I had friends who loved me, and they loved my hair so much. So even when I didn't know how to love my hair, because other people made me feel bad about it, my friends knew how to love my hair, and they knew how to love me. And that really helped make me feel better about myself and who I am. And now I rock my hair all the time. Sometimes I cut it all off. Sometimes I wear it in styles where like I can wear a hat. Sometimes my hair's long enough where I could put a little braid in the front. And sometimes I get designs in my head, and sometimes I color it all types of different colors. I know that my hair makes me special. And guess what? So does yours. So don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Because you know yourself. You know when you look at the mirror, your hair looks good. It looks so good. Now, I wanted to tell you that story because I have a book that makes me feel so good because of the message that it sends. And this book is called Wings. Can you say wings? Wings. W-I-N-G-S. W-I-N-G-S, wings. When I say wings, I know that it starts with the W. W makes W. Can you say W? Very good. W makes the W sound. So wings. This book, Wings, is about a child named Icarus Jackson. I know his name is Icarus Jackson because I opened up the book right here and I see his name. It's about this child named Icarus Jackson who has wings. And he flies around and he shows his wings, and his wings are beautiful. But guess what? A lot of the people around him don't think so. They don't understand what he's doing or how he's flying, and they don't get why he has wings. Some people think he's trying to show off. Some people think that he shouldn't have wings at all. And that reminded me a lot about my story, about my hair, where people were making me feel bad about having the hair that I had, that it was too bushy in their face and I shouldn't be wearing it out. It made me connect to Icarus Jackson. But guess what? Just like me, Icarus Jackson has a friend that he meets that loves his wings. Just like I had a friend who loved my hair, Icarus Jackson has a friend who loves his wings. So I'm really excited to read the story because I know that it'll make you feel just as good as I felt by the time we're finished. Now, before I start reading, I want to say that this book goes out to all of the Black children in the world who got their wings a little too soon and never had the chance to fly. Wings by Christopher Myers. Look at that strange boy. Everyone from the neighborhood is pointing fingers and watching the sky. How is he doing that? They stretch their necks and shake their heads. Icarus Jackson, a new boy on my block, is flying above the rooftops. He's swooping and diving, looping past people's windows and over the crowd. I don't think he's strange. What do you notice about Icarus Jackson in this picture? As you're reading through the book, you should pay special attention to read the pictures that you see. So even if you're still learning how to read all of these words, you can read the pictures. And what I mean by that is that you can look at the pictures and you can study them and you can try to figure out what the words are saying just by looking at all of the clues in the pictures. So what do we notice here? Well, I noticed that I see Icarus Jackson. He does have wings. His hair is really cool too. It reminds me like when I was talking about my hair. So I'm really excited about that. Ooh, I noticed that he has some cool shoes on too. I like that color, Icarus. You know what I noticed? I noticed that there are all of these people on the bottom pointing at him, shaking their heads. If I was Icarus, that probably wouldn't feel too good for me. What about you? If people were pointing at you and shaking their heads at you, how would you feel? Yeah, it wouldn't feel too good. So, but there is one person, and I remember that person said, I don't think he's strange. Maybe this is that person. Maybe this is that person. Icarus Jackson, the fly boy, came to my school last Thursday. His long, strong, proud wings followed wherever he went. Look at that. I think we were right. I think we were right. The person that said that they don't think that Icarus is strange is right here. And look how long and strong his wings are. He has to be so proud of those. I bet he can fly almost anywhere with those wings. I want you to think to yourself for a moment. Is there anything about you that you feel really proud of? Like Icarus has these wings that he's really proud of. What's something about you that you're really proud of? Take a moment to think about that. Maybe you can tell somebody that's in the space with you, or if you're like me and you have a friend named Tiger, you could tell Tiger, excuse me, hey Tiger, can I tell you something? Sure, Key. You heard them talking? I told you Tiger was Tiger. Okay, so Tiger, one thing I'm really proud of, the same way that Icarus is very proud of his wings, I'm so proud of my brain. I love the way that my brain works. I love the way that my brain works. I love what it does. You know, it has so many thoughts all the time. And sometimes that can be really overwhelming because I don't know where to start and what to do and where to go. And sometimes it feels like I need to. But it has all of these cool ideas all the time. And if it wasn't for my brain, I wouldn't have all those ideas. So I love my brain. I hope that you were able to talk with someone or something comforting about what you love about yourself. Let's keep reading to figure out what happens with Icarus. The whole school was staring eyes and wagging tongues. Did you hear what I said? I said the whole school was staring eyes and wagging tongues. What does that mean? Staring eyes. You're right. It means that people were staring at him with their eyes. Okay, what does it mean, wagging tongues? I want you to think about that. First, think about the word wagging. Have you heard that word before? Think about it. Ask yourself, have I heard the word wagging before? You know what? I bet you have. Have you heard the word wagging when talking about a dog and their tails? I have dogs, so I know that when dogs wag their tails, they wag them like this. So if this is wagging tongues, what do you think that means? Maybe you're right. Maybe they're going, ah. Oh, maybe that means they're sticking their tongues out at him. Maybe that means that their mouths are just like, and they can't believe that he has wings. Those are all good guesses. They whispered about his wings and his hair and his shoes. Like they whisper about how quiet I am. So not only are they staring at him and maybe sticking their tongues out or their jaws have dropped to the floor and they're looking at him, but they whisper about him too, just like they whisper about the person that doesn't think that he's strange. That wouldn't make me feel good to be whispered about. But you know what though? If people talking about you, that means they think about you. So don't forget that. If they talking about Icarus, that means they thinking about Icarus, which means that they could potentially want what he has. Our teacher complained that the other kids couldn't help but gawk and stare. Ooh, say the word gawk. Gawk. Very good. When you're gawking, that means your face looks like this. Remember how I talked about your jaw dropping and your mouth being open, right? So the kids were doing that. They were gawking at him. Gawking is not a very nice thing to do. Sometimes that might happen to you when you're out and about. You might see people staring at you with their mouths open. If you see that happen, that means that they're gawking. And that's what the kids were doing to Icarus. He said that Icarus's wings blocked the blackboard and made it hard for the students to pay attention. Skirt. Let's back up and read that again. Our teacher complained that the other kids couldn't help but gawk and stare. He said that Icarus's wings blocked the blackboard and made it hard for the students to pay attention. Something isn't really sitting right with me about this. Look at this picture. Who is the person that's talking and saying that the students can't help but gawk and stare? Who is that person? You're right, it's the teacher. Why would a teacher say something like that about a student? That feels really hurtful. I want you to think for a second about how Icarus probably feels knowing that his teacher is saying something hurtful to him and about him in front of all of these other students. Think about that. Do you think that's right? How do you think that makes Icarus feel? Take a moment to think about that. Share some of your feelings. Can you share them with me now? Yeah, I think maybe it makes Icarus feel sad and hurt and probably lonely because he's the only one being called out. But what's really confusing for me is, what do you think about the fact that it was his teacher that said that? What do you think about that? I'm a teacher. What if I said something like that about you or your friends? How would that make you feel? I don't like that. I want you to know, if a teacher ever says anything about you or says anything about your friends that is not okay, that is hurtful to you, that makes you feel bad or sad, you should know that they're not allowed to do that, and you are allowed to stick up for yourself and to tell somebody that you trust. Let's see what happens. The teacher told Icarus to leave class until he could figure out what to do with his wings. He told him to leave class, but if Icarus has to leave class, how is he supposed to learn? And why does Icarus need to leave class if he didn't do anything wrong? The teacher told him to leave because he has these nice, beautiful, glorious, stunning wings. I'm starting to think that maybe the teacher is a little bit afraid of Icarus's wings. What do you think? I'm starting to think maybe the teacher is a little bit jealous of Icarus's wings. Like maybe he's upset that he doesn't have the wings, or maybe because Icarus's wings are so strong and so beautiful and so powerful, he's a little scared of that. What do you think? Those are just my thoughts. Icarus left the room quietly, dragging his feathers behind him. One boy snickered. What does it mean that Icarus was dragging his feathers behind him? So he's not flying, he's dragging his feathers. We can't really see his face, so what do you think that means? Yeah, I think so too. I think it means that he's pretty sad if he's dragging his wings behind him. When we first saw Icarus, remember when we first saw him at the beginning of the book, he was flying high above the rooftops. He was living his best flying life, okay? With those beautiful, stunning, perfect, special wings. And now all of a sudden he's dragging his feathers? It seems to me that that teacher hurt him more than anybody even realizes. And it says that one boy snickered. Can you say snickered? Snickered, and I'm not talking about, no, I'm not talking about Snickers. We're not talking about candy or chocolate right now. You're silly. That was silly. I said snickered, and snickered means that they laughed like this. So they laughed in kind of an unkind way. So that's what snickered means. Man, I sure do hope that Icarus is okay. And do you notice? It's that same person that doesn't think Icarus is strange and who was excited that he came to their school. She's right there. At recess, the snicker grew into a giggle and spread across the playground. Soon, all the kids were laughing at Icarus Jackson's useless wings. What they mean by useless? If something is useless, that means that it really serves no purpose. There's not a lot that you can do with them, that they're kind of pointless. It's like, why would you even have it if it's useless? It doesn't work. Do Icarus's wings look useless to you? What do you think? Okay, so what makes you think that? I don't know. I don't think Icarus's wings are useless because I notice that he's able to fly away whenever he wants. If his wings were useless, he wouldn't be able to do that. I thought that if he flew just once, everyone would stop laughing. Icarus looked up, flapped his wings a couple of times, and then jumped into the air. He swept through the schoolyard like a slow motion instant replay. Ooh, look. Let me tell you, I'm a basketball player. So when I tell you I am hype to see a basketball hoop. Have you ever seen a slow motion instant replay? That's when everything goes. So Icarus was flying around like that. How cool. But the other kids were not impressed. One girl grabbed the basketball, a boy stuffed the handball in his pocket, and somebody nagged, "Nobody likes a show off." So now they're thinking that Icarus is showing off. It's interesting. Their words sent Icarus drifting into the sky, away from the glaring eyes and the pointing fingers. I waited for them to point back at me as I watched Icarus float farther and farther away. So up here I said, their wings sent Icarus drifting. Notice his legs. You see that he's not actively like making any attempts to flap, and his body looks like he's in the air, but his legs are dangling down. That's one of those things that it means to drift. So like if you're drifting away, think about a balloon that you let go that just starts to drift with the wind, or a kite that you might let go that does the same thing. This is essentially what Icarus is doing too. It said that he was drifting into the sky away from the glaring eyes. If you see glaring eyes, that means somebody is staring at you in a way that where it feels like they don't really like you. Again, they're pointing fingers. And his friend said, I waited for them to point back at me as I watched Icarus float farther and farther away. Walking home from school, I knew how he felt, how lonely he must be. Maybe I should have said something to those mean kids. So how is his friend feeling right now? She walked home and she was thinking, and she just thought to herself, oh man, maybe I should have said something. What do you think? Do you think she should have said something to those mean kids? Would you have said something to those mean kids? And if so, what would you say? I ran through the streets with my eyes to the sky, searching the clouds for Icarus. Now she's trying to find him. He struggled to stay in the air. His wings drooped and his head hung low. Let me see if Tiger can droop. Look. Oh, see? That's basically what it means to droop and your head's hanging low. Let's look. Can you see Icarus doing that? He landed heavily on the edge of a building and sat with the pigeons. Pigeons don't make fun of people. Wow, I love that line. I love the line, pigeons don't make fun of people. Why do you think that is? Why do you think pigeons don't make fun of people? And why do you think she said that? What do you notice? What do you notice about these pigeons? What do you notice about what else is in the air with Icarus? What do you notice? Really interestingly, I notice that there are so many creatures around Icarus that also have wings. Look at this. You see wings? Maybe pigeons don't make fun of people because, one, they don't talk like we talk. And two, they also have wings. So it would make sense for them not to make fun of people with wings if they have wings too. Number three, pigeons are just more kind. Uh-oh. A policeman passing by blew his whistle. You with the wings, come down from there. Stay yourself on the ground. You'll get in trouble. You'll get hurt. What do you notice about Icarus when he says that to him? How does this page make you feel? This page makes me feel a little scared for Icarus. I'm feeling a little scared for Icarus because I know that as a child, he probably doesn't feel safe being yelled at for no reason by a police officer, especially as a Black child. And I know because I wrote that book, Black Lives Matter, about all of the kids who had their lives taken by police officers, that sometimes Black children are not safe around police officers, so this makes me really scared. I really want Icarus to be safe. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. It seemed to me Icarus was already in trouble and hurt. Could the policeman put him in jail for flying? For being too different? I want you to think about that for a second. All right, friends, we need to stop and talk. This is the part of the story where I just need to keep it real. Great teachers, phenomenal teachers, they're always going to keep it real with y'all. Now, I want you to think about whether or not a police officer putting Icarus in jail for doing nothing seems fair. As you think about that, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not fair. Icarus did not do anything wrong. In fact, Icarus was simply being himself. And the truth is, oftentimes, Black children do not have to do anything wrong to be treated unfairly. And that is what's happening to Icarus. These are the types of conversations that we need to be having with one another, especially when you read books like Wings that shine a light on it so intentionally. Back to the book. Could the police put Icarus in jail for being too different? For flying high above the clouds, no matter what? And if so, why would they do that? Why would they do that? I want you to think about that. At the end of this book, we're going to have a little conversation about it. When the neighborhood kids saw the policeman yelling at him, they exploded with laughter. They laughed at him. Icarus dropped to the ground. "Stop!" I cried. "Leave him alone!" And they did. Wow. Wow. This is so, so, so important. Can you say the word advocate? Good. Advocate. An advocate is a person who stands up for people who are treated unfairly and need help because of it. It looks like Icarus was in danger because not only was the police threatening him and yelling at him, but the kids were laughing at him. And so she finally spoke up and she used her voice to tell them to stop. Do you know how important it is to stand up and use your voice and advocate when something doesn't feel right or seem right to you? If you have a friend who's getting mistreated the way Icarus is getting mistreated, you could say something like stop or no, right? And then find someone safe who you trust, like an adult, to go tell them what's happening. I really appreciated what she did though, because she made sure that these kids wouldn't laugh at him anymore because she advocated for him. She stood up for him. Wow. That's a really good friend. I called to Icarus and he sailed closer to me. I told him what someone should have long ago. Your flying is beautiful. Wow. She told Icarus his flying was beautiful. Wow. Oh, that makes me feel so good. I can imagine how good Icarus feels, especially after having people laughing at him and feeling unsafe because of the police. He probably feels so good now that he has somebody tell him that his flying is beautiful. That makes me think about the time that I was, so ashamed of my hair, and my friend told me that my hair was beautiful. Wow. For the first time, I saw Icarus smile. At that moment, I forgot about the kids who had laughed at him and me. I was just glad that Icarus had found his wings again. Look at that amazing boy! I called to all the people on the street as I pointed to my new friend Icarus swirling through the sky. The end. Oh, give me a round of applause. Hit the, okay? Hit the, if you like that book, or give me the skirt. If you like that book, do a little dance, a little shimmy, little dance. If you like that book, do a shimmy or a dance. Do you know that dance, or am I too old? Have you seen it? Oh, maybe I'm too old. But if you love the book, do a little dance. You know, we love to dance at Woke Kindergarten. This book, Wings, has some words on the back, and those words say, "Let your spirit soar." So I want to talk to you for a second about this book and how important it was. Now, Icarus had wings, and I want you to know that even though you might not have wings that you can see on your back, like Icarus does, you have wings in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. So if you decide you want to fly as high as you want to go, can nobody stop you from doing that. Don't listen to all those people that are laughing at you or pointing at you or snickering or trying to make fun. Don't listen to the adults or the teachers who tell you that your wings are getting in the way, because when people talk badly about you, that just means they either want what you have, or they are so scared of you and your power. They're so scared of what you can offer to the world, because they know that you're amazing and that you're beautiful and that you're stunning, just like Icarus, just like Icarus's friend. So if you ever have an experience where people are being unkind to you, or people are being threatening towards you, I want you to know that this really ain't about you and who you are. It's about them and what they're missing. Maybe they don't feel good about the wings that they have, and so they feel better when they cause other people to feel bad. And that's not okay. But I'm also going to tell you this. There are so many people like Icarus's friend in the world. I'm telling you, there are so many advocates and people who love you, and you are going to find so many friends who love to watch your wings fly, who love to see you soar high above those rooftops and into the clouds. You can do and be whatever you want, and it's not showing off, because if you have your wings, or if you have something that you love about yourself, me and my hair, okay, you walk around and you wear them proudly. You wear that proudly. So the next time you think about the things that you love about yourself the most, don't be afraid to show them. You walk around and you wear those things proudly. If it's your hair that you love, you rock your hair. If it's your eyes that you love, you make sure that people see. Like that. Look at mine. You blink for them, okay? Whatever you feel good about. If it's your kind heart, if it's your brilliant mind, if it's your creative mind, if it's all the energy that you have, you make sure that people know that's what makes you special, and you never stop flying. You got it? Promise? Look, because if you tell me that you won't stop flying, I'm gonna call. Hello? Did they stop? This is me talking to your parents. Did they stop flying? Well, you tell them that Key said, I don't want them to listen. I need them to keep flying. Because flying is the way that they reach their goals and do all the things that they want to do in the world. All right, thanks, Mom. Okay, bye. I'm telling you, make sure you always fly. In Woke Kindergarten, we always fly. We celebrate our wings. We soar past and through the clouds and over the rainbows. We do all that and more. So, love yourself. Be kind to one another. And make sure that if you have a friend like Icarus who's being teased, that you advocate and you stand up for them. When something isn't right, you are allowed to say stop, and you are allowed to say no. You are allowed to say stop, and you are allowed to say no. Remember that. Until next time, woke kindergartners and friends, because you don't have to be in kindergarten to be in woke kindergarten. You understand? Woke kindergarten is for everybody, and we out. Till next time. If you like this video, check out these other Woke Kindergarten videos and make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your community. Till next time, fam.